Dear viewers, if you want to hear more of my horror stories, please subscribe to my channel. Each subscription supports me in creating more chilling tales for you. And don't forget to leave your opinions in the comments. Your feedback is extremely valuable to me as it helps me improve my stories and better cater to your tastes. So click on the subscribe button and leave a comment. Stay tuned for more horror in the night. Thank you. Let's dive into the first story.
An uncanny encounter seared into my memory occurred when I was a mere 19 years old, carrying out pizza deliveries in the sleepily mundane town where I'd grown up. On the surface, it was an inconspicuous place, small and familiar, where every face had a name and nothing of significance seemed to occur. However, on one peculiar night in 2011, this facade crumbled dramatically. It was a bustling evening with orders pouring in one after another, keeping me on my toes. The non-stop phone calls from my boss alerting me of the next delivery were a good omen, signaling a night of generous tips. I dutifully went about my rounds until an unusual order arrived. This one directed me to an address unfamiliar to my mental map of the town. The house that greeted me was an embodiment of neglect. Its external structure was teetering on collapse, and the yard was a wild jungle of overgrowth. Shrugging off the discomforting sight, I stayed professional and approached the front door. The door creaked open to reveal a man of considerable girth, wearing an unnerving smile on his face. His hair was receding, and a pair of bulbous glasses magnified his eyes into an unsettling sight. He exchanged the pizza for a $30 note without uttering a single word and shut the door abruptly. I initially shrugged off his discourtesy, contented with the generous tip. However, my satisfaction evaporated when I glanced back at the eerie house. In the ghostly glow of the moon, a tiny piece of paper pasted on an upstairs window caught my eye. Squinting, I discerned the chilling, hastily scribbled word, "Help." My blood ran cold when I turned my gaze to the neighboring window. Against the dim light of the room, I perceived a small silhouette of what appeared to be a child. The aura of the scene rapidly transformed from odd to downright terrifying. I found myself pinned between terror and responsibility, engaged in a fraught conversation with the local police. My gaze remained fixated on the upstairs window, repeating the address and describing the petrifying scene to the dispatcher. As I watched, a wave of dread washed over me when the young boy suddenly dropped the sign, his demeanor shifting to one of panicked urgency. The dispatcher assured me that help was on the way, but my unease only multiplied when I spotted the peculiar man emerging from the house. His ominous figure advanced down the driveway, a sinister silhouette under the moonlit sky. As he neared my car, the dispatcher whispered for me to stay calm and maintain my cover. His face, distorted by those massive glasses, appeared by my window, his breath fogging the glass as he questioned my lingering presence. I feigned car trouble, but my poorly constructed excuse was met with a chilling, knowing smirk. As I fumbled for more words, his patience wore thin. His grin faded into a cold glare as he attempted to wrench open my car door, his frustration growing. My hands trembled as I secured the locks and rolled up the windows, a thin barrier against the impending threat. I barely had time to register the sight of him retrieving a large stone from his driveway before the soothing wail of sirens filled the air. Police vehicles swarmed the house, their blue and red lights piercing the grim scene. As they began their questioning, I relayed the sight of the child and the chilling sign that I had witnessed. Their prompt investigation led them to a locked room, much to the man's obvious displeasure. Inside, a gruesome discovery: 3 children, their innocent faces mirroring the terror of the young boy I'd seen. Each one had been reported missing from the tri-state area, imprisoned for months within these decaying walls. A living horror had been festering right under our noses in our serene town, concealed behind a veil of normalcy. And so, the quaint, small-town charm was forever tarnished in my eyes, replaced by the grim realization that evil lurked even in the seemingly safest corners.
Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed it. If so, subscribe to the channel and leave a like.